Welcome back to the cleanest show on YouTube. My name is Harrison Clark, and this is episode 6 of C.A.R. And this week, as promised, I'm going to do a very quick and very brief overview of Carroll Shelby's life.
This guy is crazy.
Let's hop right into it with Carroll Shelby being born down in a little town called Leesburg, Texas. Not much to be said about his childhood life and whatnot. We're just going to skip by that and zoom up to 1941 during World War II, and he was in the Air Force. He was a flight instructor here on the U.S. side until 1945 when he got out. He started a dump truck company after that, and then I think like a chicken farmer company or something like that. Anyway, neither of those really worked out, so he moved on to racing. His racing career started at about 1952 or so and went up to about 1960, 1959, and was very, very successful. He won a lot of races. He raced for Ferrari, Aston Martin, Austin Healey, and so forth. He won a lot of races. He became very notable in the automotive industry. His racing career had to come to a tragic end when he was diagnosed with heart problems, so he couldn't continue to race, but he had already started his first car company called Carroll Shelby's Sports Cars. After his race career ended, he got together with C.A.R over in England, and they sent him a shell of a car that he put the, I believe, a small block Ford 260 in and a 4-speed manual, and of course produced then in '62 what we know as the C.A.R Cobra. Later he would put the 289 in it, and then when Ford produced the 427, of course he'd have to put that in there. While that was being a success, Ford got together with him and asked him to produce a race-ready Mustang in '64. He then built the famous GT350. And then later in '67 he came out with the GT500, which was even more bigger and badder than the 350. The C.A.R Cobra, the GT350 and 500s were so successful that him and Ford got together again and they built the GT40, which was the Ferrari beater of the day. Unfortunately, after that, in 1970, Carroll Shelby and Ford kind of went their separate ways. Carroll Shelby went off doing a bunch of other stuff, kind of retired from automotive for a little while, but then got back together with Dodge and created, I think in '82 through '86, if I remember, they created the Dodge Charger. And then after that, he was very influential in developing the Viper. The development with Dodge didn't really go anywhere, so they kind of went their separate ways, and then in the late 80s, I think, or maybe 90, he had his heart transplant, and then after that started a child, organ donor donation fund sort of thing, and that was a big success. And then in '97, he developed his own car from the ground up. He developed what was called the Shelby Series 1. That is personally my favorite car. Look it up. It looks really good. It's an awesome looking car. Even now, I mean, they built it in '97 or 90 or '99, I think is when they produced it. Look it up. It's an awesome looking car. I mean, it looks like it is one of the sleekest looking cars. I love it. And then in 2003, he helped Ford once again, got together with Ford and created the GT40 remake, just named the Ford GT, and that's an awesome car. And then of course in the mid 2000s, he got back together with Ford and came out with the GT500. Next year is going to be an awesome car for the GT500. But unfortunately, last Thursday, of course, he passed away, so he won't be experiencing the best Mustang ever built, and directly from his dealings with Fords, and he produced it back in the '67. It's unfortunate that he passed away, but he passed away out of just the illness he'd been dealing with for a while. He had a successful heart transplant, and I tell you, this guy just had a successful life. He started many, many companies during his career, including, of course, the most famous Shelby American Incorporated, his first company being Carroll Shelby Sports Cars, and then there was the Southern California Goodyear Racing Tire Distributing Company. He had the Shelby School of High Performance Driving, and so on and so forth. He had many companies, and if you want to look them all up, I'll leave a link down below to the actual Carroll Shelby website. It's a really great website. I really liked looking at it. It has a timeline of his life, so many more facts than I could put in here. So that's Carroll Shelby's life in a nutshell. He was the last living American muscle icon. I mean, he was a legend and always will be. Like this video if you like what you saw. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. My name is Harrison Clark, and I hope to see you next week. A little small block V8 and a 4-speed automatic. Not an automatic. That pizza looks really good.